Well, hello everyone. Thank you again so very much for sitting down and joining me today. It's so very nice to meet you. If I haven't already met you in some way, shape, or form, my name is Ryan, and today we are sitting here with a haul video. This is actually the first post-closure Goodwill haul that I've been able to get. I've gone to, there's two in my area, and I've gone to one that's very close to my house. And I've gone there a couple of times, and one time it was just a little bit too crowded. And then the second time I was able to go, and I looked around for a little bit. Wasn't really much from what I was able to kind of peek into the first time. So then I gave it a little bit longer and then came back, and then I was actually able to pick up some stuff. And then also we do have another collection update of random purchases and a few different assorted odds and ends and that sort of thing. And the Goodwill haul itself is actually not very big per se. I mean, it is, well, I should say it's not like these like super crazy titles. It's a lot of common titles, but it's filling in gaps in the collection, because you'll see it's in disarray behind me because with limited space, I've adopted this stacking method. It works for right now. That's why we don't have anything over here on the back end. Eventually that's gonna get filled up, but that's why it's kind of blank right over there right now. But the reason that there's all of this blank space and all of this leaning tower nonsense that I've got going on behind me is because I had everything kind of stacked up and ready to go. That way I could have this for film the video, and for some reason it went all back on the shelf, so I had to pull it all off so that we could go ahead and get this going. But it's not a big deal. It's gonna take me 3 hours to get it all back and ready to go. But so like I said, we got the first post-closure Goodwill haul, and then some random assorted odds and ends from probably about 3 or 4 different places. So let's get right into it and let's see what I got. All right, and before we actually pull off the first title, my big apologies if there is any sort of background noises going on in the background. As I've said before, I live in the south, and right now we have a tropical storm that is over us. There's no high rains or winds in my area right now, but all of the frogs have come out to sing the song of their people. So you may hear that in the background, hopefully not. I try to talk over that, but you know, that may be what it is. But my apologies if that is to happen. So the very first title that I picked up is one that I've had, actually, quite a few of these I've had in my collection at one point, and over the years, they've been lost or given away, never given back. So luckily, I've kind of been hunting down like a lot of these titles that I used to just kind of see all the time. I've been picking them up when I can just to fill in those gaps, and that's what some of these are actually. But the very first one is one of my all-time favorite films, and that is Young Frankenstein. But I've never seen this cover. I've never seen this cover. The cover that I've always had before is the one, I think it just shows the castle, and it's got Gene Wilder's face on one side, and then I can't remember, is it Marty Feldman that's on the other side? I really, now I'm blanking it. I have it on VHS, but I haven't had a DVD copy, and this was actually still sealed when I picked it up. But on here, there's a Mel Brooks commentary track. There's a couple of featurettes, interviews, deleted scenes, that sort of thing. So, and I know that I had it on DVD at one time, the exact same cover that's on my VHS. I don't remember special features-wise what that was. Young Frankenstein, it's hard to say if it's my favorite Mel Brooks, but it's definitely, you know, in the top. I mean, it's a classic. Most people are very much familiar with this film, as they should be. It's an absolutely fantastic film, and I was very happy to pick it up, still sealed, with this artwork that I've never seen before. That was pretty cool. I've never seen that before. So Young Frankenstein, definitely very happy to pick it up. This one is another one of my favorite films. This is the exact same edition that I had. The only difference is that I had a previewed Blockbuster rental copy, which I have one of those in here as well. But this is the one that started it all, if you're a big Kevin Smith fan, and that would be Clerks. I absolutely love Clerks. It's very smart. I love the dialogue. This really showed what kind of films Kevin Smith was making with his very dialogue heavy, his very chatty films. And that's basically everything that this had to go off of. And because without the dialogue, there's nothing else to this film. There's you know, it's literally made to sort of look like it's the CCR or the CCTV footage from the convenience store, from the Quick Stop. Absolutely love this film. This is the very same edition that I had as well. I know there's better editions that are out there, but I don't care. I got it for $1 and it's on DVD, and the DVD is gonna look fine for me. It's not gonna do anything to the movie. I'm not a format snob, I've said this before, but I'm very happy to have this back in the collection. I'm not, I mean, I like Kevin Smith's films. I don't love all of them, but Clerks, absolutely. Another one of these, another comedy, one of my all-time favorite comedies. I'm saying that a lot, but this is true. This is a classic, and I don't think this is the exact version that I had. It wasn't the same artwork that I had originally, but Raising Arizona with Holly Hunter and Nick Cage. This is the Coen Brothers film. I don't remember off the top of my head. Then this is one of the early ones, but I don't remember where in the filmography this falls. But I do love Coen Brothers films. I haven't seen them all, but I think Hail Caesar is another one of their films, unless I'm wrong, unless I'm confusing it with something else. I have it, but I've never watched it. I haven't heard great things about that one, but I do love their films, and very happy to have this one back in the collection and to revisit all of these, because actually these, the ones that I've seen that I'm getting back in, I haven't seen in a very long time, so that's going to be a treat. This one I've never seen. This is I got this as a Blockbuster pre-rental or previewed rental copy, and it's a later Wes Craven film. I've never seen it before. Don't think I've really even heard of it, but that is My Soul to Take. It was originally $14.99, and I got it for $1. I've never heard of this film. I'm assuming it's a slasher. On the day the Riverton Ripper. Ooh, on the day the Riverton Ripper vanished without a trace, 7 children were born. Today they're all turning 16 and turning up dead. Okay, so yeah, I mean, rated R. This was 2011. So this is even later than Red Eye. I've never seen this one before. So I don't have anything to say. Obviously, his later films definitely were not all that great, but I liked Red Eye. A lot of it was definitely because of, and now I'm blanking on his name. He was Scarecrow in Batman Begins. He was in 28 Days Later. I'm sorry, if you know if you can remember his name, put it in the comments. I can't remember his name right now. It's a very, it's not a common name, but anyways, I'm getting beside the point. This next one is one that for so many years I thought I had seen. I thought I had seen this film, and I guess that was just a reason to never watch it again, because I thought that I had seen it. But now it turns out that all these years I hadn't seen it. Maybe I was confusing it with Fright Night or something else, or maybe I honestly don't know, but I found it for $1, so now was the time to do it. And The Lost Boys, I've never seen The Lost Boys. Never, ever have. I'm very familiar with the cast, especially Corey Feldman, Kiefer Sutherland's in it. Who else is in it? We got, yeah, both Corys. Heyman Feldman, Diane Wiest. I've never seen this. Joel Schumacher. I'm probably confusing it with Friday Night. I'm not sure. But for $1, I will definitely check out The Lost Boys. And all of these, with the exception of the next one, are actually pretty mint condition. This next one has a little bit of surface scratches, but it should play absolutely just fine. And the thing about all of these, too, is that a lot of these are pretty easy to upgrade as well. Because I'll definitely grab it for $1 if I, don't have it, or in this case, haven't seen it. And a lot of these are very cheap upgrades too, if I ever do want to go down that route. So this one is actually one that I have the first one on DVD as well, and I was very happy to find the second one on DVD because my wife hasn't seen either of them, and I actually have a harder time finding these on Blu-ray for a good price, because obviously when it comes to certain release dates, like when we're talking more major films, obviously the small distributors and stuff like that are doing these like restored versions of films, yeah, I mean, like I usually try to wait for sales, of course, but I am going to pay a higher price point. But a lot of these major films that, especially when we're getting into like mid 2000s and or mid to early 2000s, yeah, I'm not paying, $10. I'm definitely looking for that $5 or below price point, but I haven't seen that for this particular film or the first one, and that is Kill Bill Volume 2. The second Kill Bill film, which I actually prefer more than the first Kill Bill. They're both a ton of fun. They're not my favorite Tarantino films, but they are an immense amount of fun. And my wife hasn't seen either one of them. I have the first one on DVD, and I was able to find the second one. Hopefully at some point I will be able to upgrade these to Blu-ray, because these are definitely ones that deserve that treatment. Kill Bill Volume 2. This one is the last DVD, because I found one Blu-ray, only one Blu-ray. Well, there was a second one. There was Marley and Me. I've never seen it, but I didn't feel like being sad, so I passed on it. I remember when this movie came out because at my local Blockbuster, it was everywhere for promotional posters, standouts. It was everywhere, especially because it reaped in a ton of awards and a ton of nominations. And that is Crash. Sandra Bullock, Don Cheadle, I think Brendan Fraser's in this. Yep. Brendan Fraser, Ludacris. Who else is in this? Anybody else that I can think of? Matt Dillon. I've never seen this movie. It's a thriller. Cast characters struggling to overcome their fears as they careen in and out of one another's lives. In the gray area between black and white, victim and aggressor, during the next 36 hours, they will all collide. It's a two-disc collection. There's a ton of features that are on here, and both the discs are in fantastic condition. So now I can actually try to watch Crash and see what all of the hype that I remember surrounding it is about, if it was merited, in my opinion. And this one was $2.99. What I don't love about their Blu-rays, at the ones that I go to, and even some of the DVDs, some of them, at the Goodwill that I shop at, is that they write it in. They write it on a marker that I can't get off very easy. The second Goodwill that's in my area, I really don't go there very often because they do the old, they put tape over the case, and I understand why it's a deterrent for taking the disc, but I can't tell if the disc is playable, so I avoid that. But this one is, the movie is okay. I used to have it on DVD, and I remember liking it. I know at the end it definitely starts to kind of trend downwards, but it was a decent film. That was The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp, when he's the bookseller looking for with the strange occult books. Definitely a pretty good supernatural horror film. I remember liking it, pretty fondly, but I am definitely interested in going back in revisiting this one as well. Who else was in this one? Johnny Depp. Who else was in this? Nobody that I can actually that's jumping out at me atop my head. I mean, I know it was a Roman Polanski film. A few different special features on here as well, including a commentary track and a featurette, and then just goes into basically the details of the disc. But I'm excited to check it back out again because I do remember enjoying it. And now this next bit that we have over here, there are two from Best Buy. I was purchasing some stuff for my daughter, and they had these both listed at a very good price. I went ahead and picked both of them up. Well, let's go ahead, and I got these out of order. This first one is a double feature on Blu-ray. I've had both of the films on DVD. The first one, I do still have the DVD, so that's an upgrade. The second one, I've lost. And I very much enjoy both of these films, and to have them together, not one disc, I believe. Yes, they're both on their own individual disc, but in one collection. House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. I adore both of these films. I have not seen all of Rob Zombie's films. One of them that I have in here is one that I haven't seen. I haven't seen 31 and Lords of Salem. But these two and the two Halloween remakes, I very much enjoyed. The first one definitely over the second one, but I really like his stuff. I mean, I dig White Zombie and I dig Rob Zombie's music. So obviously, in his movies are basically his music in a visual form, so all of the inspiration that goes into his music, it's in a visual form. And House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects are two very different movies that are following the same enemies, I guess, or the same sinister cast of characters. But The Devil's Rejects definitely goes more into a Western style tale, and it is leaps and bounds, better than its predecessor. But they are both very, very different movies, and I love them both for two very, very different reasons. So I'm super happy to have that. And then I have the final, or I'm assuming the final, I thought Devil's Rejects was the final, but the final installment of the Firefly family, and that is Three from Hell. I've heard mixed things about this one. Not as bad as I was hearing about 31 and Lords of Salem, but it's the Firefly family. So I gotta check it out because I love both of those films, and I have to see what this one has to offer. We do have a commentary on here with Rob Zombie. I remember the ones from House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, so I will check that one out on this one as well. When did this come out? It's not super old. 2019. Yeah, 2019. And I think this was down to like $8. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to be able to check that out. This one I haven't seen any of these films. This is, it says the complete collection on here, but I know there was a fourth one, I believe, that came out just recently. I haven't seen any of these movies, and I hear people talk about them all the time. So definitely seems like something that I would enjoy. And on Target, they had it for $13, I think. It was all 3 films for $13. That's a really good deal, especially when I've caught the individual movies before on on DVD or on Blu-ray in the wild before, and pricing that out was more expensive than buying this, brand new, all on Blu-ray for $13, and that is Ip Man, the trilogy, Ip Man 1, 2, and 3, 2008, 2010, and 2015. I know the third one has Mike Tyson in it, so that's cool, Mike Tyson. So yeah, I don't know how much, I don't have anything to say. I've just heard so many fantastic things about this martial arts trilogy or just whole franchise at this point, because I know there is a fourth one. I think that's probably the last one, because I think it's the final chapter or something around those lines. This should be really fun. I'm excited definitely to check this one out. Like I said, they're all on their own individual disc. We got 2 stacked right here. But hey, that's a really good price for all 3, so I'm super stoked, and I can finally check out all of them. So really, really happy to have that one. These next 2 actually come from Bull Moose. Both of these are movies that I've had before. Movies that have gone the way of all things at some point. This one, I mentioned that very briefly before with a very similar circumstance to The Shining, a couple hauls back. And I talked about actually the very same thing with how many times I've purchased this movie. This is now the last time I'm purchasing this movie. I've had the VHS, I've had the DVD, and I've had the Blu-ray. I probably had two different DVD versions. And with the sequel, I've only had the VHS and the DVD. I never had the Blu-ray. And that is probably one of my favorite franchises. I will call it a franchise, or a trilogy. Evil Dead. I got both the Evil Dead movies on 4K. This came with a slip. This one did not. I really don't care. But I'm super, super excited for this, because, especially this one, because the footage on Evil Dead originally, even when you're looking at it on the DVD copy, or even the Blu-ray copy, was, obviously it was super, super low budget. So I'm super excited to check it out in 4K, because that's when you're really going to get that whole film feel. So it's gonna look the same way as it was projected up on the screen. That's gonna be fantastic, because that's not even really fully embodied on a DVD or a Blu-ray release of a movie that was this low budget of this time period. And I absolutely love these films, and I have so much to say about these movies and Evil Dead as a whole. So I actually do plan on getting into both of these and going into all the special features, because looking at this one, especially with Evil Dead 2, it looks like there are some additional special features than what I had on the DVD. I never had a Blu-ray of Evil Dead 2, so I can't really speak for it. Obviously, it wasn't any special features on the VHS. So I'll just need to get Army of Darkness. I would assume Army of Darkness is available on 4K. I didn't really check. Both of these were about, I think they're about $16.99, give or take, which I was more than happy to pay to get both of these. And obviously Bull Moose shipped them incredibly fast and arrived to me with absolutely no issues. So I'm super happy to check those back out, revisit them in a whole new kind of way. And then I do want to do a spotlight video just talking about Evil Dead. We can probably do it with just these 2, foregoing Army of Darkness, because Army of Darkness is really, it's the next chapter. It's directly after Evil Dead 2, but it's a completely different movie, just like 2 was from the original. And I have so much to say about Evil Dead, so much to say from these films, the remake, is it Showtime? The Showtime series, the musical. So much to say about Evil Dead, so we can definitely do that. This one it's not, I posted this on my Instagram. This one is not part of my Vinegar Syndrome sale haul. That's not even going to be a full haul. I might do a video for it. I only got 3 titles. But this one ended up dropping in price on Amazon, and I really couldn't pass it up, because this was one that I kind of wavered back and forth on putting into my cart, and I didn't do it, and it kind of paid off, because it dropped to, I think, $13 maybe. And that is FleshEating Mothers, this 1988 low-grade comedy horror of zombie mothers. It looks so cheesy and absolutely bizarre. This looks like an absolute treat. Definitely excited to check this one out. North American Blu-ray debut, freshly restored in 2K and featuring a new batch of exclusive special features. So there's a bunch of interviews and commentary tracks on here as well. And this was one I definitely debated on which side to display, because this is the commissioned artwork, which I think is absolutely fantastic. That is really, really, really good. But it's something about this, it's really something about the color on this one, because I think actually this is better, but the colors are absolutely fantastic in that. So that was one that I definitely wavered back and forth on. So I'm really, really excited to check this one out, because this seems really schlocky, really cheesy, and really fun. So definitely up my alley with the kind of movies that I am into, because Vinegar Syndrome I'm into, I guess maybe if you were to try to divvy it up on their production release, I'm definitely into about half of what they do. The other half of what they do, I think, is still very, very important, because they're preserving a certain type of movie, but it's just not for me. This next one, or these next two, actually come from Walmart. This first one will probably come as no surprise to a lot of people. I told myself many times that I didn't need it, that I did not need to buy this movie again. And when I went there were 2 copies left. And so I told myself that, yeah, you need it. And yeah, it's Jaws. I had to get Jaws. In the lenticular slip, people love these lenticular slips. I absolutely hate them. I despise them, because I'm not gonna do it, because it's already doing it. The sound or the feel when you scratch your fingernail along that, it absolutely drives me nuts. I cannot stand that. So I hate lenticular slips. Do they look cool? Sure. But so yeah, so this one on here, most people are already very, very familiar with it. So I'm not gonna go into it. That's why I didn't even do like a sort of video exclusively on it, because there's tons of videos from people that are much more adept at talking about this kind of stuff than I am. But yeah, the booklet that's on here, tons of fantastic information that's on here. My favorite bit that's on here, I really can't wait to kind of get into this. My favorite bit is all the posters, all the different posters from around the country, around all these different countries and stuff like that around the world. I absolutely love this. And then I know on here as well, so besides the booklet, besides the fact that it is restored in 4K, so I'm gonna know it's gonna look absolutely beautiful and very, very, very filmy. Oh, it doesn't say it on the back. Let me see on here. Yes, one of these special features was the Shark is Still Working documentary, the impact and the making of Jaws and the legacy behind it. So my wife has never seen Jaws. So this is definitely one that I think was probably another reason why I went ahead and picked it up. And I'm having a difficulty getting the booklet back in, so we're just gonna stop right there. This one was, this came out about 5 years ago, and this dropped down to $5 on DVD, so this was a quick buy. It was an instant buy when I saw the price, and that is Tom and Jerry, the Gene Deitch, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Deitch collection. This is really cool, because this is when, this is like the revival of Tom and Jerry. This is right at the revival of Tom and Jerry when MGM started putting out these theatrical shorts. And Gene had definitely the weirdest Tom and Jerry shorts. So it's not, I mean, it is of classic Tom and Jerry fare of, you know, cat and mouse, but it's so bizarre. The animation is a lot different. The settings are really, really weird, and a lot of stuff is so out there when compared to just regular Tom and Jerry, and I love it. Like the very first short that you have on here is Kitten Switcher, which takes place in a obviously I've already started watching this, which is a like takes place in like a castle with a mad scientist who is swapping the brains of animals or the minds of animals into other animals. It's really, really weird and really bizarre, and there's only a couple of these I was actually familiar with, but I remember how different they were, which really made me want to go in and get it. The two that I remember on here was Mouse into Space and Dickie Mo. Those are the two that I remember, and there are 12 on here total. I believe it's 12, and this is a 5-year-old DVD, and they look fantastic. They went ahead and redid the colors and everything like that. So I've actually been going into this with my daughter, and she's really, really been liking this as well, because I picked up like a movie, a Tom and Jerry original movie that was like a take on Jack and the Beanstalk that came out probably about 5-6 years ago, and she really liked that one. So I went ahead and got this. I said it was for her, but it was really for me. So this, let's see, We got 3 more here. This next 2 actually came from Barnes & Noble. Me and my daughter went in there to, the way that I budget, I do a budget, you know, like a little bit for her. That way she can just kind of go into a store and, you know, she can spend her money. And so we went in there for that. She grabbed a book and some toys and stuff like that. And I grabbed 2 movies for me. One I had talked about on the previous haul video when I got another Scooby-Doo movie. I talked about this one and how much I remembered this one as a kid. So I found it, I think it was $5. $5. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. I had the original clamshell of this and I watched this so many times. I'm pretty sure that I broke it because I had one of the rewinders that was absolutely terrible, or at least the one that I had was absolutely terrible for your tapes because it rewound it at such a high speed that it would just eat it. But that one definitely went the way of all things because of how much I adored this movie. So I'm really happy to go back and watch this. And not only that, it also has a bonus disc, which is just Scooby-Doo and the Zombies. However, it doesn't give me any info on exactly what that is. It just says it right there on the back. So I don't know if that is a small movie because there are tons of original Scooby-Doo movies, or if it's just like a compilation because I have a couple like compilation style discs. So I'm not sure. That's new to me. So I will definitely be happy to revisit that and see what that is. And this one I found for $5 as well. And I was really, really happy to find this because I have heard about this set for quite a while, and I've wanted to pick it up because I know that some of the films that are in this set have made its way to Blu-ray. However, I have never seen any of them, and they seem like they would be something that I would fully enjoy because they're full exploitation factor. Definitely being that's right up my alley. That's my kind of thing. But I've never seen them before, and I've wanted this set because this has everything in it, all of his films put together, and there's the Mill Creek, Andy Sedaris, Girls, Guns, and G-Strings, all 12 films. And I know that there are some, actually, I should say some, I would say most that are in this have not made its way to Blu-ray. I could be wrong, but I know like Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Malibu Express, maybe Dallas Connection has made its way to Blu-ray via Mill Creek as well. But I am so happy to have this because now I can go in there and really dive into these movies because I'm sure I'm absolutely going to love them. But besides not just going in for these individual titles, like I think Malibu Express is the one that started it all. Was the first in the Triple B series. Besides just going in on getting the Blu-ray of that one, I'm glad that I waited and ended up finding this set because of the fact that there are films that are in here that have not been given that Blu-ray treatment. So now I can, if I do think that I'm going to enjoy this as much as I am, then I can upgrade the ones that are available and I still have the other ones. So that was definitely a very, very happy find for me. And this last one was a flash sale on Amazon. And this was one that I didn't have the film, and there are 6 films in here, and I've seen the very first one many, many, many years ago. But I never saw all of the other ones. I probably haven't seen the first film since the original VHS tape. So I've never seen a DVD or a Blu-ray of this, and I've heard the Blu-ray restorations on here are fantastic, and that was the Invisible Man Legacy Edition. This has all of the Invisible Man movies from the Universal era. Invisible Man Returns, The Invisible Woman, The Invisible Agent, The Invisible Man's Revenge, and then Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man because I think they met all of them. I think they met everybody, all of the Universal monsters. I know that the original or the subsequent films are not as talked about in as high a fashion as the original one because I know that from what I can understand that the subsequent films were all kind of different. Like I know there's maybe like a spy espionage film that's probably The Invisible Agent, and then you have Abbott and Costello, so you can tell exactly that's a comedy. So I know that they definitely sort of they took the H.G. Wells novel from the very first one, which is a very faithful adaptation. And then just sort of kind of took the IP and then just started spreading it out. But I know they're not as well loved, and I don't know if that's primarily purists that felt that it departed too much from the source material. Eventually, maybe one day I'll make a video talking about reimaginings and adaptations and stuff like that because I have a pretty firm stance on that as well. But maybe one day. So, because I recently just watched the new Invisible Man movie, or new Invisible Man movie with Elizabeth Moss, which I'm actually about to make a video for right now. So you're gonna see me in the same clothing. So this was really cool to have this. It was really kind of weird because I was watching it when this kind of dropped down. So that was really cool to have. They're all together. They're all on that par for the course flip disc thing, which oh, they're all actually staying. I was going to talk about how much I hate them because they usually all fall out, but they're all here. Obviously, when it shipped to me, Amazon shipped it to me in a big, oversized box with no sort of packing material or something. It was very bizarre, but everything came in fine. They had like 2 discs that were loose, but other than that, I mean, no scratches or anything like that. So, whew, guys, that's everything that I've got, everything that I picked up. This is probably about 2 weeks or so. Thank you so very much for sitting down and checking out everything that I picked up. Thank you so much for dealing with the crazy mess and possibly the frog mating rituals that are happening in the background. Yeah, thank you so much for checking all this out. If you have an opinion on any of the things that I picked up, please leave a comment down below so we can have a longer discussion about it. If you just want to say hi, I'll say hi back. All of my social media and contact information are in the description box that is down below. But other than that, I will catch you guys on the very next video, and then I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.